Once upon a chilling night in the small town of Ravenswood, a quaint Victorian house stood shrouded in shadows. The moon cast an eerie glow, revealing an air of mystery that clung to the century-old home. Inside, the Phillips family resided peacefully, or so they thought. Mr. and Mrs. Phillips had just settled into their cozy living room, engrossed in the soft glow of the fireplace. The clock ticked away, marking the passage of time as they lost themselves in conversation. Little did they know that their world was about to be disrupted by an unsettling revelation from their youngest daughter, Emily. The clock struck midnight, echoing through the silent halls. Emily, with her wide, innocent eyes and tousled brown hair, descended the creaky wooden stairs in her pale pink nightgown. The air seemed to thicken as she reached the bottom step, her gaze fixated on something unseen. "Mom, Dad," she whispered, her voice a trembling thread in the silence. Her parents turned to her, their eyes meeting hers with a mix of concern and confusion. "Can you hear it breathing?" "I can hear it," Emily said, her voice barely audible. Mr. Phillips exchanged a puzzled glance with his wife, their faces etched with worry. "Sweetie, what are you talking about?" Mrs. Phillips inquired, her maternal instincts rising. Emily pointed towards the dimly lit hallway, her eyes wide with fear. "It's in the shadows. It's watching us," breathing heavily. The room fell into an uneasy silence. The once inviting warmth of the fireplace now felt like a feeble barrier against an unseen threat. The Phillips family exchanged uncertain glances, unsure whether to dismiss Emily's words as a child's vivid imagination or to entertain the possibility of something more sinister. Suddenly, a chilling gust of wind swept through the room, extinguishing the flames in the fireplace. The atmosphere grew colder, and an ominous presence filled the air. Emily clutched her teddy bear tightly, a quiver in her small frame. Just then, a faint, rhythmic sound pierced the silence, the unmistakable sound of labored breathing. The family's collective breath caught as they listened intently. It was as if the very walls of their home were exhaling a sinister breath. The room seemed to darken further, and the shadows in the hallway took on a life of their own. The Phillips family felt an inexplicable terror as the oppressive atmosphere closed in around them. Emily's whispered words echoed in their minds. "Can you hear it breathing?" The family huddled together, their eyes darting nervously around the room. The breathing grew louder, closer. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone in their supposedly safe haven. A shadowy figure materialized from the darkness, its form indistinct yet undeniably menacing. The room pulsed with an otherworldly energy as the entity drew near, its chilling breath sending shivers down their spines. The Phillips family, paralyzed with fear, could do nothing but watch as the malevolent presence enveloped them. The breathing intensified, drowning out all other sounds, and the air grew thick with an unnatural cold. The little girl's warning had come true. There was something in the shadows, something that breathed with an otherworldly heaviness. The Phillips family was about to confront a terror beyond their wildest nightmares, trapped in a living nightmare that had invaded their once peaceful home. The question lingered in the air. Could they escape the clutches of this unseen horror, or were they destined to become prisoners in the House of Shadows forever? As the oppressive darkness continued to constrict the room, the Phillips family felt an invisible force pulling them toward the center of the living room. The breathing grew more insistent, echoing in their ears like a macabre lullaby. Emily clutched her teddy bear even tighter, her small fingers digging into the worn fabric. Desperation seized Mr. Phillips, who, in a last-ditch effort to protect his family, attempted to shield them with the flickering light of a hastily retrieved flashlight. The beam cut through the shadows, revealing fleeting glimpses of the malevolent presence. The entity seemed to recoil from the light, but its breathing only grew more frenzied, as if angered by the intrusion. Mrs. Phillips, her voice trembling, implored, "What do you want? Why are you here?" The question hung in the air, unanswered, as the oppressive silence returned. Suddenly, the temperature in the room plummeted, and the breaths of the unseen entity became a guttural growl. The family's breath formed frosty clouds as they huddled together, their warm exhales mingling with the frigid air. The walls seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, and the air became charged with an otherworldly electricity. Just as they thought they were on the brink of unraveling the mystery, the flashlight flickered and died. The room plunged into complete darkness, leaving the family vulnerable to the unseen horror that surrounded them. Emily's whimper cut through the inky blackness, her fear palpable. In the pitch-black void, the family felt a chilling presence inching closer. The breathing, now a guttural rasp, reverberated through the room, sending shivers down their spines. It was as if the very air had transformed into a malevolent force, intent on suffocating them. Unable to bear the uncertainty any longer, Mr. Phillips reached into his pocket for his phone, hoping the feeble glow of its screen could offer some reprieve. As the phone illuminated the room, shadows danced across the walls, revealing the grotesque figure of the entity. It stood, a grotesque silhouette with elongated limbs and hollow eyes that seemed to absorb all light. The breathing, now deafening, echoed in their ears like a haunting symphony. The family recoiled in terror as the entity loomed closer, its presence suffocating. Just as all hope seemed lost, a distant sound echoed through the house, an ethereal, melodic hum that cut through the oppressive atmosphere. The entity recoiled, its malevolent aura momentarily disrupted. The family exchanged bewildered glances, grasping onto the sliver of hope that had unexpectedly emerged. The humming grew louder, accompanied by a soft glow emanating from the staircase. The Phillips family, driven by a desperate instinct, followed the mysterious melody, each step a hesitant progression into the unknown. As they ascended the stairs, the oppressive breathing faded into the background, replaced by the comforting hum. At the top of the staircase, they found themselves in front of Emily's bedroom. The door stood ajar, revealing a warm light that contrasted starkly with the malevolent shadows below. The humming reached its crescendo, drowning out the lingering echoes of the entity's breaths. With trepidation, they entered Emily's room, where the source of the comforting melody awaited them. A spectral figure, bathed in a gentle light, hovered above Emily's bed. It radiated a calming energy, dispelling the lingering fear that had gripped the family. The spectral figure turned towards them, its eyes filled with a benevolent warmth. In a soothing voice, it spoke, "Fear not, for I am the guardian spirit of this house." The shadows that lingered were remnants of a long-forgotten darkness. "Your presence has awakened me, and I shall protect you from the malevolent forces that sought to consume your home." As the guardian spirit spoke, the oppressive atmosphere lifted, and the breathing that had haunted the Phillips family dissolved into the echoes of a distant memory. The room, once filled with an unnatural chill, now emanated a comforting warmth. With a final reassuring smile, the guardian spirit faded into the ethereal glow, leaving the Phillips family in peace. The once frightened little girl, Emily, now nestled safely in her bed, clutched her teddy bear, the memory of the terrifying ordeal gradually fading away. As dawn broke, casting its golden rays through the bedroom window, the Phillips family awoke to a newfound sense of tranquility. The nightmares of the night before seemed like a distant specter, and the Victorian house, once shrouded in mystery, now stood bathed in the warm embrace of the morning sun. The little girl's question, "Can you hear it breathing?" lingered in their minds, a reminder of a night when the veil between the seen and the unseen was briefly lifted. Though the darkness had threatened to consume them, the guardian spirit had emerged, restoring light to the once terrified home. And so, the Phillips family, forever changed by the events of that harrowing night, embraced the dawn of a new day, a day in which the echoes of malevolent breaths were replaced by the harmonious hum of a guardian spirit, watching over their home. In the weeks that followed, the Phillips family adjusted to their transformed home, forever grateful for the presence of the guardian spirit. The Victorian house, once cloaked in shadows, now exuded a sense of serenity and safety. The memory of the malevolent entity became a distant nightmare, overshadowed by the warmth that radiated from the guardian spirit's protection. The townsfolk, initially skeptical of the supernatural events, soon noticed the change in the Phillips household. The once haunted Victorian house became a symbol of hope, a testament to the mysterious forces that could turn darkness into light. Whispers of the guardian spirit's presence spread through Ravenswood, turning the Phillips family into local legends. Emily, now a beacon of courage, shared her encounter with the guardian spirit with her friends at school. The tale became a cherished bedtime story among the children of Ravenswood, a story that reassured them that even in the face of fear, there was always a guardian spirit watching over them. As the seasons changed, the Victorian house stood as a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the mysterious forces that guarded against malevolence. The Phillips family, forever bonded by their shared ordeal, continued to live a peaceful life under the benevolent protection of the guardian spirit. The little girl's question, once a harbinger of dread, transformed into a symbol of triumph. "Can you hear it breathing?" became a rallying cry for courage, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, there was a guardian spirit whispering melodies of protection. And so, in the heart of Ravenswood, the Victorian house stood as a beacon of hope, casting its warm glow into the surrounding darkness. The guardian spirit, an ethereal presence that transcended the boundaries of the seen and the unseen, watched over the town with a timeless vigilance, ensuring that the echoes of malevolent breaths remained nothing more than a distant memory. The Phillips family, their once fearful hearts now filled with gratitude, embraced each day with newfound strength, forever indebted to the guardian spirit that had turned their house into a sanctuary of light.
Like, subscribe and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.